Israeli officials and local Yemeni media confirmed the death of Houthi Prime Minister Ahmed al-Rahawi, who was targeted in Israel's strikes on Sana'a on Thursday. Religious leaders convened in the Malaysian capital Kuala Lumpur to debate ways they can get involved in the prevention and resolution of international conflicts. Iran-backed Houthi Prime Minister Ahmed al-Rahawi was killed in Israeli airstrikes on the Yemeni capital Sana'a on Thursday. The news was confirmed by local Yemeni media outlets as well as Israeli officials. The attacks targeted senior military officials, including the group's defense minister. Several of al-Rahawi's associates were reportedly killed in the same attack on the Houthi premier's Sana'a residence. Israeli officials believe the strikes also successfully eliminated Defense Minister Mohammad al-Atifi, as well as Army Chief of Staff Mohammad Abdul Karim al-Ghamari. Israel is still assessing whether more of the Houthi leadership were neutralized in the operation. The strikes coincided with a planned speech by Houthi leader Abdul Malik al-Houthi, who was not present at the targeted location. The attacks were carried out midday on Thursday and targeted a military site and private residences on the outskirts of Sana'a. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz says the attacks were a response to Houthi attacks on Israel this week. Katz warned the group against further escalation, threatening a resolute Israeli response.
The UN Security Council has voted unanimously to terminate the mandate for the UNIFIL peacekeeping force in southern Lebanon at the end of next year after nearly 5 decades. It comes after Israel and the US pushed for the force to be ended, calling on the Lebanese armed forces to take on greater responsibility for eliminating the influence of the Hezbollah militant group. But Lebanese officials have warned stability in the region remains fragile following last year's hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah.
The commitment of the Lebanese government is there, but how can they be deployed everywhere in the south if the IDF are still present in the south? So these are the things that are very difficult to comprehend, that if you want the full deployment of the Lebanese army, you also have to withdraw to your positions. The presence of IDF in the south is violation of Lebanese sovereignty and is a violation of 1701. So this can be done, but there needs to be commitment from both sides.
UNIFIL has played a significant role in monitoring the security situation in southern Lebanon for decades. It was initially created to oversee the withdrawal of Israeli troops from southern Lebanon after Israel's 1978 invasion, but its mission was expanded following the 2006 Israel-Hezbollah war.
The Russian drone and missile attack killed at least 18 people and injured 48 in the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. At least 4 children are among the dead in the attack, which used drones, cruise and ballistic missiles. The attack impacted more than 20 locations across the capital, totally destroying a 5-story residential building. Residents were left stunned by the strike as rescue teams searched to find people under the rubble of fallen buildings.
На голову двері. Це все, що було. Всю квартиру розтрощило, у нас 2 машини побило. Так, поки зараз ще дуже не роздивлялися, вийшли одразу на вулицю і пішли в укриття.
Да, чесно, прям от щоб так близько ще ніколи не прилітало. От, ну, в будь-якому разі зараз страждають всі і прилітає в будь-які райони. І, ну, як бачимо, ніякі перемовини поки нічого не дають, люди страждають, на жаль.
The attack is Russia's first major strike on Kyiv since US President Donald Trump met Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska earlier this month. Despite multiple high-level meetings, US-led efforts to bring about an end to the war have struggled to gain traction.
The Central Election Commission of Bosnia and Herzegovina announced early elections for the President of the Republika Srpska for November 23. This position became empty after the Commission stripped Milorad Dodik of his mandate on August 18, based on the final verdict of the Court of Bosnia and Herzegovina, which sentenced him to a year in prison and a 6-year ban of public office for failure to implement the decisions of the High Representative. Dodik refuses to step down from his position. In the meantime, the National Assembly of the Republika Srpska adopted a series of laws and conclusions related to the holdings of a referendum where citizens should express their opinion on the verdict of the Court of Bosnia and Herzegovina against Milorad Dodik and the decisions to revoke the mandate on the president. Part of the opposition announced participation in the elections, while Dodik himself mentioned that he would prevent elections even with it use the police. He believes that the court and High Representative Christian Schmidt, whose legitimacy they dispute in Republika Srpska, are committing legal violence. Dodik announced that he will travel to Russia in September, where he will ask his Russian friends to veto the EU-Altea military mission at the United Nations. Also, he is going to Russia in order, he said, to get support for the referendum on independence. Snežana Mitrović, Euronews, Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Tempers flared on Wednesday when two Mexican senators shoved each other during a plenary session. Alejandro Moreno Cardenas, national leader of the Institutional Revolutionary Party, and Gerardo Fernandez Noroña, the president of the Senate and member of the Morena Party, were seen brawling. Both blamed the other for starting the aggression. The brawl came after a tense debate over the presence of US military intervention to fight drug cartels. The issue is contentious in Mexico after US President Donald Trump authorized the use of military force targeting drug cartels deemed terrorist organizations in Latin American countries.
The second International Summit of Religious Leaders has taken place in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, held under the theme, The Role of Religious Leaders in Conflict Resolution. Wars in Gaza and Ukraine dominated conversations as well as debate about how the role of religious leaders can help understand, resolve and discover the root causes for international conflicts. The Malaysian Prime Minister and the Secretary General of the Muslim World League gave special addresses at the summit.
Today, in the world, there's a deficit. There's a decline in trust. There is deficit among political leaders on what is the notion of justice, on humanity, on good values. And therefore, the religious leaders will have no choice. We're not giving you a choice. You have to hold the banner.
We say to everyone, we don't want just words, we want deeds. We have listened a lot. Now we want to see action. And you have to do something about it. And you must create something tangible.
The summit highlighted that religious leaders can play an even more significant role in promoting peace, reconciliation and social cohesion.
Protesters hurled rocks at Argentina's Libertarian President Javier Milei and his campaign caravan. Milei had rocks thrown at him as his convoy cut through a Buenos Aires province. The district is known for being the center of the country's left-leaning opposition movement. The Argentine leader was unharmed, but the high-profile rally was cut short. The incident comes as Milei's inner circle has been hit by corruption allegations. Tempers flared on Wednesday when two Mexican senators shoved each other during a plenary session. Alejandro Moreno Cardenas, national leader of the Institutional Revolutionary Party, and Gerardo Fernandez Noroña, the president of the Senate and member of the Morena Party, were seen brawling. Both blamed the other for starting the aggression. The brawl came after a tense debate over the presence of US military intervention to fight drug cartels. The issue is contentious in Mexico after US President Donald Trump authorized the use of military force targeting drug cartels deemed terrorist organizations in Latin American countries.
For 112 million Europeans, traffic noise isn't just annoying, it's dangerous. But why? More than 1 in 5 European citizens is exposed to unhealthy noise levels from transportation. Road traffic is the loudest source. 92 million people are exposed to noise levels above 55 decibels, the EU's safety threshold. In comparison, railways affect 18 million people, while air traffic impacts around 2.6 million. In France, 24 million people are exposed to transport noise above 55 decibels, the highest levels in Europe. However, during nighttime hours, Germany tops the list with around 15 million people impacted by harmful noise. Long-term exposure not only disturbs sleep, but also leads to various health conditions. Every year, noise levels from transportation contribute to 66,000 premature deaths, 50,000 new cases of heart disease, and 22,000 cases of type 2 diabetes. Children are especially vulnerable. Noise pollution can affect reading comprehension, behavior, and even lead to obesity. The European Environment Agency recommends cutting noise pollution by investing in quieter transport and more thoughtful urban planning. Access to a nearby park or a green view can also help reduce stress and annoyance caused by constant traffic noise.
Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook has sued the Trump administration in an effort to overturn the president's attempt to fire her. The move launches an unprecedented legal battle that could significantly reshape the Fed's long-standing political independence. It is seen as a test of whether the Federal Reserve is free from any political influence. Trump said the reason for her removal was allegations that she committed mortgage fraud in 2021 before she was appointed to the board. The lawsuit argues that the allegations don't involve misconduct by Cook while in office and haven't been proven.